This is Red America Radio. Straight up conservative talk for today's red-blooded American. With the host of Ion DC and Ion South Florida's Karen Turk. And Dr. Chris Metzler, political commentator and best-selling author. Making radio great again. Red America Radio.
And it's another beautiful South Florida Saturday.
Hey.
Welcome, everybody. I wish some of our friends who are listening to this at other parts in the country could come down here to South Florida. And,
come visit us.
Be in paradise. Yeah, we should do some sort of an event down here.
We should.
We need to do that. We're going to have to stay tuned because we're going to have to announce that pretty soon, huh, Chris?
Oh, very soon. It'll be a very hot event.
It will. It's going to be hot in South Florida.
That's right.
It's going to be hot, just like our weather.
Hot and spicy, baby.
You know, we've had some really amazing hot and spicy celebrities on this show the last couple of weeks.
We have. And it just shows you the quality of conservatives that are there, here, there, and everywhere. And we're always happy to welcome them to our show.
We are, and they are everywhere, and we just keep pulling them out of the woodwork. And I just keep going on Instagram and looking at all these amazing dynamic personalities that I'm following. And I just think, there's going to be a lot of shows in our future because there is a plethora of celebrity conservatives out there, especially with the blow up of social media and that being really the way for the conservative voice to be heard. Because in the past, these conservative voices would be, on the television set on multiple networks. But now that we only really have one conservative network on national TV, outside of those people that sit there, one of the celebrities on that channel, there's a lot of people online who I find really interesting.
Yeah, because I think the future of this show is about the future of the conservative movement. And a lot of the people you see, even on the non-conservative channel, who are supposedly conservatives, a lot of what they're saying clearly is not conservative. To me, it seems like so many of them have become opportunists rather than conservatives.
Absolutely, yeah, opportunists. That's a good word. That's a very good word. And I don't know, when we talk about traditional journalism, there's something these days which is really much more opinion-based journalism. I call myself a journalist. I have a journalism background, but in reality, there's a lot of other people on this station, like Joyce Kaufman and other personalities on our stations that are very much the same way. It's not just delivering the news anymore.
Well, yeah, but at least you are going to tell us that you're opinion-based.
I can't hide it. I can't hide that I'm a conservative. The red just bleeds out of me.
Well, but if you look at the networks, the non-conservative networks, what you see are people who are, I'm very objective, and you're not giving me news. You're giving me your opinion, which is fine. Say that. Mm-hmm. Then I can decide if I want to listen to your opinion or not, rather than masquerading as journalists. That's the part that kills me.
I agree, and we all consume things we like, and I'm the first one to say I don't really flip on CNN too often. Every now and then, I've told you before, I'll flip on just to get a different opinion, just to see what they're doing today, and kind of like, with what's going on with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the latest nonsense, so I can kind of laugh and get my comedy in.
Yeah.
But, the rest of the time, it's conservative news, and, with everything moving online, 93% of women my age and my age bracket, and I won't give away my age entirely,
18.
though most of you know, right? We are actually getting 93% of our news from social media and online. So PragerU is one of the outlets that I follow, and I'm a big fan of Dennis Prager and have been, and have watched him speak and hear the wonderful things he's saying. And he's got a lot of really dynamic people on his team, including our guest today.
Yeah. PragerU is a fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love it.
And we've got Witt on the show. Yeah. He's going to be joining us in a little bit.
Yeah.
He's another rock star.
Oh yeah, Will's the guy.
Well, and I feel like we're really reaching out today too, and we're really getting that millennial audience because he's really got the conservative millennials listening.
Yeah, Will, Charlie Kirk. Those are the people. Those are the guys.
Yeah, well, and Charlie's going to be on an upcoming show,
yes.
too. We do a lot of work with Turning Point. My husband's actually on their advisory committee, and we are just so impressed when we go to these events on how motivated these kids are and how they're really making significant change in America, whether it's Turning Point or PragerU. They really are the leaders of today in their own demographic and the leaders of tomorrow for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, it's good to see the fact that we have some leaders who are absolutely in tune and really, really want to make sure the republic survives all the chaos and nonsense that's being created by the left.
Absolutely. And I think it will. And I feel very fortunate to have a conservative son to take care of me. And I feel very fortunate that Will Witt and Charlie Kirk and all these people that are a little bit younger than me, that they're going to be the leaders of tomorrow. And when I'm an old lady, they're going to be taking care of me.
And that's good news.
It's very good news. So let's get him on the phone. Let's give him a call and get him in the studio.
Absolutely.
And we'll be right back.
The NFRW, National Federation of Republican Women, brings together conservative women and raises their voices all over America. Join our movement. Get involved in your local federation and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Listen up, red-blooded conservatives. Divided we stand. The Search for America's Soul by legal scholar, political analyst, best-selling author, and host of Red America Radio, Dr. Christopher Metzler, is a must-read. Metzler destroys the failed policy of the left on immigration, border security, fake news, racism, swamp politics, and takes on white liberals. A significant statement of politically and economically conservative ideas applying to today's America, and that are sure to gain influence in decades to come. Get your copy today at Amazon.com.
Still using lamestream media for news? Stop being a victim to clickbait and visit Populist Wire. They're delivering real news to over 100 million people a year. Visit Populist Wire on Facebook or at populistwire.com.
Listen up, red-blooded conservatives. Divided we stand. The Search for America's Soul by legal scholar, political analyst, best-selling author, and host of Red America Radio, Dr. Christopher Metzler, is a must-read. Metzler destroys the failed policy of the left on immigration, border security, fake news, racism, swamp politics, and takes on white liberals. A significant statement of politically and economically conservative ideas applying to today's America, and that are sure to gain influence in decades to come. Get your copy today at Amazon.com.
Still using lamestream media for news? Stop being a victim to clickbait and visit Populist Wire. They're delivering real news to over 100 million people a year. Visit Populist Wire on Facebook or at populistwire.com.
And we're back.
Well, welcome to our show, Will. We are so happy to have you here. I was just watching your Best Moments of 2018 video, which I'm going to highly recommend that any of our listeners look up. I'm going to put it on our webpage and also on our Instagram. So share away, but it's pretty entertaining. You do some really good street work.
Thank you so much for that. We're really trying to go out there and, as well as expose the left, but also educate the people who watch it, and a lot of time educate the people who I talk to. So it's a little of both.
Yeah, it seems like they need a little bit of an education. I just heard one of the people that you interviewed on the street. Yeah, you asked him about World War I, and he very quickly said that George Washington fought in World War I. So I'm sure you're really helping a lot of people when you're out there.
I think so. I mean, not knowing basic stuff like that, it still floors me every time I hear it. It's always surprising. You know what I mean? Because I learned these things before, or at least I know these things now. And American history and just history in general is something that is no longer taught at American schools and American universities. And if it is, students are not retaining that information very well because it's not being taught in a way that actually connects with the student.
Wow.
Yeah, they absolutely are not retaining that information. As a college professor, I got to tell you, it's a tough road, because what you have right now in a lot of the colleges and universities is not education but indoctrination. And so you have a lot of particularly left-leaning professors who forgot that a fundamental job is not to tell students what to think, but to teach them how to think. And I think that's part of the problem we have.
That's exactly right. You know, I only did 2 years at university until I dropped out because I couldn't take it anymore. And I was actually never a conservative until I actually went to college and saw how horrible these academics, these virtue-signaling academics, are at the university and how intolerant they are to other people's opinions, whether it's a conservative opinion or just something that doesn't match their agenda. And so I was done with that and went and worked for PragerU. But yeah, I mean, only 1 in 12 college professors are actually considered a conservative.
Yeah.
And you see this in the humanities, which is most degrees that people get, and they're just going to these leftist indoctrination camps.
Well, and that's exactly the thing. I mean, as a college professor, a conservative college professor on 2 very liberal college campuses, it was brutal. I mean, we went up, toe to toe with a number of the professors. I just simply say to them, who cares what your opinion is? That's not why they're here. So that's a major part of the issue.
Right. You guys ever read Howard Zinn? You know what the Howard Zinn novel is?
Yes.
The People's History of America?
Yes.
Right, and it's like that's full of just anti-American sentiments. And the school, instead of giving you this book and saying, hey, here's this book, like make your own opinion off of it, and we'll discuss other things, they basically give you that book and say, this is the truth.
Right.
Tell me why this is the truth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're not giving you, exactly like you said, about what to think, not how to think.
Right.
They're not giving you any other information to actually make informed opinions. That's why I can go and do these interviews, and people get so... And a lot of times when I go to these marches, especially, people get so defensive of these opinions because it's been taught to them since they've been in elementary school up through college. And so having their opinions and all their ideas shattered in front of them makes people very angry.
And the most recent one was the Women's March video,
yes.
which you also have. I recommend that our listeners watch that too. What was your favorite part of that video? What was the silliest thing somebody said to you at the Women's March?
Well, I really loved that woman's voice when she's screaming. I don't know if you guys heard that. She said, "We have to take this country back." And she had like a very I don't want to say harpy, but almost. It was like very shriek-like.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. It made me think of the Nazgul in Lord of the Rings. But it was very funny. But in terms of just my favorite part, I mean, I thought it was so funny that these women who are there marching, they're supposed to be marching for equality and people for equal rights and all this. And then they say, oh, you just can't understand as a straight white male. You can't understand what it's like. And I'm like, I have the data and the information about what's going on with women in 2019. Like, the things you're fighting for are not true. And just because I'm a white male doesn't mean that I can't say that this is what's going on. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's leftist arguments, is that if they don't have an argument that actually uses facts and logic, they're going to tell you that your intersectionality makes it so that you can't have an opinion.
You know, it's interesting because I always say there's a kind of a war on the white male these days in this country. And I could say that as a white woman, and I'm like the anti-feminist. You know, I believe in gender roles. You know, I've been called a 50s throwback in addition to other things. But we actually, it's amazing to me that seems to be the go-to. We actually, earlier on in this show, we had Harry on, and Harry stormed the stage and confronted, he lumored Whoopi Goldberg. I don't know if you saw this video online, but he basically worked his way on the set, and that was what she said to him. What did he say, Chris, when we had him on?
Yeah, she went backstage and basically said to him, "Listen here, little white boy."
Little white boy. Little white boy.
Yeah.
Right, okay, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. It seems that seems to be the go-to. It's like, you know, it's like that's the instant attack is you're a white guy.
Yeah.
Right.
And
oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
They have no coherent arguments themselves. Like, again, with just being taught these things in school, so when confronted with actual facts, they have to use that sort of argument to defend themselves because they don't know anything. You know, I think I talk about this, too, sometimes when I give speeches and I talk about social media. We live in a very insecure generation.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are my age, I'm 22, this millennial generation, very insecure generation. And so when confronted with things that don't match their narrative, people don't know how to act. You know, they're very much looking for approval from other people. Mm-hmm. So that's why a lot of them are so left-wing as well. And so, yeah, it's very tough for these people to think for themselves when they've just been indoctrinated for so long.
And what do you see like, because, you know, I go to a lot of these Turning Points events and, you know, and Chris has worked on different university campuses and different things. So, you know, although we're not part of your generation, I would like to in my head think that I am, you know, we see a really bright future for America. And I actually talked about this when we were introing you and you didn't hear that. But I said, you know, it's people like you that make me feel really positive that when I'm an old lady, I'm going to be okay.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry I didn't hear that, but it's even better.
That's okay. It was part of my intro.
Okay. My thing that I think, you know, I go to these conferences as well, and I see these amazing young people, and I have 120 million views on my videos of people watching, but the left has so many resources.
Right.
And so many means of getting their messages out there. They're killing us on marketing. PragerU is amazing at what we do, and we're like one of the top conservative brands, being able to be on social media, get thousands and thousands of views and push these things. But the left just has so much more money, so many more people. So it really seems like it's going to continue to get worse until it gets better. What I mean by that
do
is
you
that
think it's more money, or do you think it's media
conservatives
bias?
Aren't going to have a reason to really wake up and actually make a huge change and do something very, very big until it continues to get worse. So I think it's going to, people like Ocasio-Cortez are going to continue to make it worse, and Nancy Pelosi, as well as all these companies like Now This, BuzzFeed, The Guardian, putting out these horrible hit pieces on conservatives on the daily. So I think, yes, it's going to continue to get worse, and then it will eventually get better when we realize that we have to finally do something. I think California is the way that it is because conservatives have let leftists take it over.
Yeah.
There are a lot of conservatives here in California, but they've let leftists take it over, and that's why it's so far left now.
Yeah, and speaking of the need for education, it's so comical and sad at the same time when you have Cortez as a member of Congress who just makes these statements that are not based in any kind of fact, and just this whole nonsense around, and people are like, yeah, she's a hero. She tells it like it is. I'm like, are you kidding me?
The whole thing's a huge head scratcher for me, Chris. It's a huge head scratcher. Will, what is your opinion on her? I mean, I just, because I mean, she's a part of your generation too. I mean,
right.
That's
yes,
the part that I'm not so delighted about.
So I feel somewhat bad even talking about her because she's turning into somewhat of a Trump figure, obviously on the other side.
Right.
But basically the right is emboldening her so much with the amount of things that we throw at her all the time.
Exactly.
She's just becoming more popular and more popular, right? This is the same thing that happened with Trump, with everyone throwing hate at him when he was running for president. And then he ended up winning, right? And so I think it's the same thing. So I'm not particularly excited about all the people on the right giving her so much attention because her ideas are some of the worst ideas that I've ever heard. I mean, we're putting out another video today where she's talking about in 12 years the world is going to be over because of climate change, and this is our new World War II. Mm-hmm. I'm like, where do you think of this stuff?
I know, and I was so disgusted by that because my parents I'm a first-generation American. My parents fled the Nazis in Austria to be here. I'm a Jewish American, and I was like, you're going to compare this to World War II? Like, what kind of an ignorant human being are you?
Yeah, it's very ignorant is the way, and that's, again, she comes from the generation of people who have not learned history. You see the other things that she says about socialism, and I haven't heard her comment about Venezuela either. So it's very selective of her to say what she wants to say to the people who are her constituents and the people who follow her. And then when she's confronted with having to actually defend something, she's pretty much silent. So, and then she calls it catcalling when someone wants to ask her an opinion on something, which is just, again, the arguments like white male, same thing.
Yeah, it just seems so simplistic. Do you when you go out and you do these videos, I mean, obviously you go to the Women's March, and I've seen you do a bunch of these videos in California. Do you specifically, because it just seems like you get people on there that are kind of stupid. Do you actually target those areas and look for these liberals, or are these people everywhere?
Well, look, I am in California.
Yeah, well, there's that.
Granted, it's easier to find here than anywhere else. But no, really, like when we did the Women's March video, we like to include pretty much every single person we talk to at least once, right? So every single person we talk to, we like to give them a spot in the video just to showcase, the wide array of opinions. So as you'll watch most of my videos, and you'll see we'll have conservative viewpoints, we'll have left-wing viewpoints. And so, yeah, the people that we find are really, honestly, it's just the people that we find going out. At something like the Women's March, it's much easier to find those kind of people than just on the street. But even when we go to Hollywood or a college campus, it's the same thing. It's people who are misinformed and need to be educated.
You know what I think is really special about what you do with your videos, too, and one of the reasons that I enjoy following you, and I think a lot of our listeners, even the ones that are kind of on the middle side of the aisle here that listen to our show, there aren't a lot, but there's some. I think that you do it in a way that's very non-confrontational. You don't put people on the defensive. You know, there are a lot of people out there making viral videos, and they're attacking people on the street, and they're out there, you know, looking for a bad answer. But when you go out, you do it in such a way that that they don't even know that what they're saying. Like, you don't put anybody in a corner, and you don't degrade anybody. You do it in a way that's very tactful, and I like that.
Thank you. That's what I try to do. I had a guy just the other day. He was a communist, actually, and he messaged me on Instagram. And he said, you know, I used to be a huge communist, and I started watching your videos, and I saw how ill-informed the left is and how these people who you interview are. And now I'm a hardcore conservative after watching your videos and PragerU videos.
Wow.
And it's like, that's the best thing. It's like, if I were to make a video showcasing me getting angry at people, trying to debate someone on the street or someone on a college campus, I would be reaching a different audience. It would be people who already agree with me. The point of what I do is that I'm trying to reach people with my videos and talk to people who I don't agree with so that I can get new ideas out there. I mean, that's the point, right? I'm trying to change people's minds. This is why, you know, PragerU is suing YouTube, actually. And people always ask us, like, why don't you just make your own social media platform or anything like that? And it's the point is to be on these social media platforms where people disagree with you. You know what I mean? I would never want to be on an all-conservative platform because that's just not the point. We're trying to reach people, especially young people who don't agree with us, so that we can try and educate them on these things going on in America.
I call it inspired dialogue, and I think that's exactly what you do. You have inspired dialogue with people. And the problem that we have in America, in my opinion, and I know Dr. Metzler agrees with me, is that people have stopped listening to each other.
Yeah, so we're not talking to each other. We're shouting past each other the entire time. And so nothing gets resolved if we continue to do it that way. So, and that's why we appreciate the work that you're doing. Really just putting the facts out there, letting people say what they have to say, showcasing the different points of view, because then that leads to more substantive conversations. And so we really appreciate the fact that that's the approach that you take and take consistently.
Yeah, so we want our listeners to make sure they're following you, Will. Give us your handles. Tell everybody where they can reach you.
Yeah, so everything is going to be at the Will Witt. So it's Will Witt, but with a the in front of it. I'm the only one, the Will Witt. That's on all social media, my public Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. And then if you want to watch my videos, go to PragerU.com as well. If you go to PragerU.com, you can go to the Man on the Street videos. You can go to the bonus content videos, as well as just check out PragerU's awesome other videos as well.
So when are you coming down to South Florida to visit us? We got to make a video together.
That's right.
You know, I was just there. I was there in December for the Turning Point conference.
I know, and somehow I didn't run into you there. I don't know. That was a crazy. You know, it's amazing to see how much that event has grown. I can't even fathom what it's going to be like last year. But I was over in that little adult section. They had the adults sectioned off this time, so I feel like I didn't get to interact as much.
In the VIP area?
Yeah,
I was there too. Different area?
Yeah, no, I was in the VIP area. How did we not? I did not talk to you.
Either.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll catch you at the next one for sure.
Definitely. I'll be speaking at University of Florida, hopefully March 15th.
March 15th, University of Florida. Yeah. You got anything else exciting coming up?
Cool. I think for now that might be it. I might be doing University of Central Florida the day before too. I'm not too sure. I gotta figure it out, but
cool. Well, we'll catch up with you.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Take care.
We got Harry on the phone, and Harry made big news this week, Chris. I know you saw the video. We'll have the video up on our page on Instagram, but you confronted Whoopi Goldberg. I think a lot of people have been waiting to do that, Harry.
Yes. Me and Laura Loomer and I were having a conversation about a week ago, maybe a little less, and we were going originally to do this together, but I said to her, wow, Whoopi really says a lot of hateful things towards the president every day, so somebody ought to go confront her about it.
You did. You loomered Whoopi Goldberg, as we call it here in our studio. Loomered, because we're very, very big Laura Loomer fans. I was actually with her yesterday down here in South Florida supporting a commissioner who they're trying to get removed from the commission for stating her opinion about Tlaib, and they want to shut her down. But we were out there in support. Laura's an amazing woman, and you're you're amazing for doing what you did. I mean, what you did was just off the charts.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. What was her reaction? I'm dying to know because I saw the video clip.
Yeah, but
so I want to
see.
know, like, what happened after. Like, did they escort you out?
They basically kicked me out. The audience booed because they were mostly liberals, and they told me if I came back ever again, I'd be arrested for trespass.
Wow. But you got the video. Now, was it on your phone, or did you have somebody else with you?
It was on my phone, and I gave my iCloud login to the Gateway Pundit in case I got arrested for doing it. So.
Oh, smart thinking, because that's what I was thinking is, did they take your phone? And I'm like, how do you get the video? So you were smart enough to upload it to the iCloud, so that way you could grab it later. That's such good forward thinking.
Yeah, that's absolutely excellent thinking. So in the confrontation with her, is she just as hateful on TV as she is in person?
What was she like?
When I confronted her, she really didn't say anything. I think she was surprised, to be honest. But then after they kicked me out, she came behind the scenes and talked to me. She first made a remark based on race.
Ooh.
And referred to me as I'm a little white boy.
Ooh, a little white boy.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing these days.
Apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really made a big deal about it because I didn't catch that on video. So after they kicked me out, and it's my word against hers. But.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, that's very enlightening. And I wanted to meet you. We wanted to say that we're super proud of you and what you did, and that you stood up for a lot of other people that I'm sure wanted to speak their mind to her, and keep doing what you're doing. You're a rock star.
Yeah, because we need your voice out there so we can move the agenda along the way that it's supposed to be done. Kudos to you, man, for doing what you did there. It's exceptional. We really appreciate it.
Let's give a big whoopee.
Whoopee!
That's Harry. Thanks, Harry, for joining us.
Thank you.
Take care.
You've been listening to Red America Radio. And on Red America Radio, we're not divided, are we, Chris?
No, we're not divided.
But what's the name of your new book?
Divided We Stand, The Search for America's Soul, available wherever books are sold.
And stay tuned, because we'll be back soon with another episode.
Yes, we will.
Straight up talk for today's conservative America.